Welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Ashley Collingsworth. We hope you're having a great week so far.
And I'm Peyton McDaniel, and these are the stories we have for you today. Fires continue to plague parts of the tri-state area as the drought conditions worsen, and the long-range forecasts do not show any potential precipitation that will lessen these fire threats. Currently, these wildfires across the state of Kentucky are responsible for burning more than 6,100 acres. There are burn bans in both Tennessee and Kentucky that prohibit the following: burning of forest, grass, crops, woodlands, marshes, or other similar areas, burning leaves or debris, campfires, bonfires, and warming fires, open pit cooking and charcoal grilling, and use of fireworks and welding may also be prohibited or regulated. Director of the Claiborne Emergency Management Agency and Homeland Security, David Breeding, says the unusually dry autumn is the perfect spark for wildfires. These dry conditions are predicted to continue to the end of the year, and it wouldn't take much to start a wildfire. So far in this year, there have been 837 wildfires that burned 20,000 acres of property within the state of Tennessee. For additional information and resources, please go to www.kym.ky.gov, where you can follow KYM on Twitter and like us on Facebook. The mission of the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency is to coordinate preparedness, response, and recovery from man-made, natural, and technological hazards in a professional and efficient manner. A local firefighter is dead following his brave fight with the brush fires in the area. 44-year-old Rodney Collett was a member of both Redbird Volunteer Fire Department and the Bell County Volunteer Fire Department. Members of Redbird Fire and Rescue responded to a brush fire on October 29th. While fighting the fire, a tree limb fell and struck Collett, causing him to suffer head and arm injuries. He was airlifted to Pikeville Medical Center for treatment. On November 17th, Collett succumbed to his injuries. In a statement from the Bell County Volunteer Fire Department, they say they are saddened by the loss of one of their brothers. Collett is survived by his parents Ted and Shirley and his sister Connie. Funeral details are still being arranged.
There are some very big changes that are happening across the campus of Lincoln Memorial University, and one of the biggest changes came following an announcement just last week. Explaining what that announcement is, we turn to President B. James Dawson.
Well, the announcement is that I will retire at the end of this academic year, so June 30th will be my last day officially as the president. And Dr. Clayton Hess has been named President-elect to become president on July the 1st. It's been my privilege to serve as president here for nearly 8 years now, and I have watched the institution grow and prosper and change in dramatic ways. It's been great fun for me. It's been a most interesting experience, and I have to tell you that for me it's a wonderful way to end my career. And this truly will be the end of my career. I have no plans other than retirement following this.
Dawson first served as Chief Operating Officer and Chancellor on the main campus. During his presidency, LMU grew to a Level 4 Association of Colleges and Schools Commissions on Colleges Accreditation, opened the doors to the LMU John J. Duncan School of Law, started the Doctorate of Education program, and founded the LMU College of Veterinary Medicine. He explains what exactly it was, though, that led to his decision to retire from Lincoln Memorial University.
I will be 72 years old, and that's time. You know, it has arrived. The interesting thing for me is that those years that I was here moved so quickly. It's just like a blink of an eye, and I have served the institution as president for my period. A couple of things that I think are important for any person in a position like this. One of them is to know when you should leave, and I think that has more to do with the institution's needs than your needs. And I think truly the institution needs the opportunity to move forward under leadership that will provide a vision for the future, and I certainly think that's the case with the appointment of Dr. Hess. But the other thing that I think is very real is you reach a point in your career where you know that you have done what you can do most effectively. And I think that's true in my case. I have reached that point where my effectiveness has been maximized, and now it's time for someone else to come in and lead the institution. Lincoln Memorial University is a community that is filled with wonderful people, and frankly, I probably would not have stayed as long had it not been for the wonderful people that I have a chance to work with on a daily basis. I do believe that the future of Lincoln Memorial is very bright. We have wonderful opportunities to continue to grow, expand the institution's reputation and its reach throughout this region. But at the end of the day, you know in your heart when it's time, and my heart told me the time has come. Notwithstanding the fact that my wife also told me the time has come.
Dawson also contributed greatly to LMU's advancement work as the institution raised nearly $40 million since 2010. Aside from those accomplishments, he tells us what it was that impacted him most while being here.
The thing that impacted me most here was the opportunity to work with such tremendous people. It has been rewarding because the people have made the institution what it is. But it's been exciting to be a part of a place that has added a law school and been through that accreditation process. Our medical school grew dramatically during the period of time I was here, and we added a veterinary school, which has been unique. I'm the 30th president in the history of higher education in the United States that can say we started a veterinary school. So that truly is unique. But the other thing, probably the thing that has had the greatest impact on me as an individual, is recognizing that it truly is a privilege to serve an institution that has such a unique mission. Lincoln Memorial University has a very unique mission. We are a living memorial to Abraham Lincoln. We were founded to serve the people of the Southern Appalachian region, and we do it with distinction. I don't think there's any question.
Dr. Dawson and his wife Karen have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Now, as President Dawson said earlier, the Lincoln Memorial University Board of Trustees has voted unanimously to appoint Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost E. Clayton Hess as the university's 21st president. Dr. Hess will assume the role of president on July 1st, 2017, following a semester-long transition period. Hess has served as the university's provost since 2015 and the vice president for academic affairs since 2010. He has taught as an adjunct faculty member at LMU and was the founding chair of LMU's Institutional Effectiveness Committee. Hess has served on the president's cabinet twice during his career, first from 1998 to 2001 and again from 2010 to the present. Dr. Hess earned a Bachelor of Arts in Humanity and 2 Masters of Education degrees from LMU and a PhD in Human Services and Counseling from Walden University. Hess has 4 grown children and 5 grandchildren, and he resides in La Follette. Hess's inauguration will take place during the university's 2017 homecoming festivities, which are set to take place October 12th through October 14th. Now, there is more news coming up after the break, so keep it right here on LMU Community TV News.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Got a quarter?
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
It's that time of year, and Lincoln Memorial University wants you to kick off the holiday season with them with 2 days of seasonal fun. On Wednesday, November 30th, join the LMU Women of Service for a Christmas festival that will include shopping under a large tent. Local vendors will be on hand with jewelry, scarves, personalized children's books, face painting, and more. The tent will be located in the large parking lot located adjacent to the University Quad from 11 to 6 to keep you and your family warm. There will be a variety of soups available with a drink and dessert for $5 as well as a silent auction. The Christmas Festival will also continue Thursday, December 1st. That will also include the Knoxville Symphony Chamber Orchestra and the annual tree lighting. The orchestra will be performing 2 concerts inside Duke Hall, with the first performance scheduled for 4 o'clock and the second performance is scheduled for 7:30 following the tree lighting. During the 7:30 performance, the LMU Concert Choir will join for a portion of the performance. Both concerts will feature traditional and popular holiday music, and your admission is free with a contribution to Mission of Hope. The tree lighting ceremony will begin at 6:30 p.m. on the quad in front of Duke Hall. In conjunction with the holiday celebrations, the university will once again be collecting items for Mission of Hope's annual Christmas campaign. The Christmas campaign focuses on providing food, new clothing, hygiene items, books, and new toys to needy families throughout rural Appalachia. For a complete list of items needed, please visit www.missionofhope.org. Lincoln Memorial University is grateful for the many alumni, friends, and community partners whose contributions enable students and campus community to achieve excellence. On Friday, Lincoln Memorial University Advancement Health held its annual day of giving with the goal of $50,000. Totals are still being counted. They are very appreciative to everyone who contributes and also contributed Friday. If you would like to donate before or after Philanthropy Day on Lincoln Memorial University's website, you can go to the tab Giving in the upper right corner and choose how you can contribute to LMU.
An alleged drug smuggling operation into the Claiborne County Jail was dismantled and 6 people arrested following an investigation. According to Sheriff David Ray, officers received information about attempts to conspire to smuggle illegal drugs and contraband into the jail. A release from the Sheriff's Office states that after an investigation, the Investigation Division and correction officers charged several suspects with criminal conspiracy, introduction of contraband, and other additional charges. Through the investigation, 2 mothers of inmates in the jail were charged and arrested. The mothers were 62-year-old Wanda Gibson and 56-year-old Elaine Hobson. Inmates, 29-year-old Benjamin Hobson, 29-year-old Christopher Ramsey, and 38-year-old Anthony Dean were also charged. Items recovered in the investigation included Suboxone strips and other contraband items. 45-year-old Dan Ross was also charged and arrested in the conspiracy. Now, according to Sheriff David Ray, the Sheriff's Department and corrections officers will continue to monitor all efforts of anyone who may attempt smuggling items into the Claiborne County Jail, and they will be identified and prosecuted to the fullest. All defendants will appear in Claiborne County General Sessions Court on December 15th. If convicted, the defendants could face anywhere from 3 to 15 years in state prison. Anticipation is growing as construction continues at the former location of J. Milton's in Middlesboro. Sagebrush is expected to open their doors in the near future, but to tell us about the progress of the construction, here is Steve Mars.
It's the last time the LMU was here on getting some information of what we were doing. We've progressed with putting the stacked stone in, new windows. We're painting the roof, the metal roof. We put a new flat roof in the back. We're getting ready to pour concrete this week for the pads, for the porches on the outside in order to put stacked stone in on the columns. We're going to have a little porch around here with fenced-in porch. I'm sealing the rest of the parking lot this Saturday. So we're on the closing portion of getting the building ready for Sagebrush. I know we're not involved with the jobs, we just lease the building. There's been a lot of interest here in Middlesboro. And as you can see, there's a ton of traffic going by, and hopefully we can captivate some of that. Anyway, it's another piece of the puzzle in trying to help Middlesboro and Bell County. We have changed the interior somewhat, where there's a bar inside, which is part of the progress here. It's gonna be really a pretty building when we get through with it. You don't create new business when you put a restaurant in. You just steal from others because there's only so much business here. But 25E is sort of a main artery of what we're trying to captivate. I'm on the tourism committee too. Middlesboro does not have a steakhouse. So we're lucky enough to land Sagebrush here. Hopefully we're going to have a draw, that added little draw for the people that are traveling through, the travelers, and then the local people, they'll have a little more opportunity to go to different places. I think Sagebrush is a good fit.
LMU Community TV will continue to do updates with the construction crew and Steve Mars to bring you more information as it is made available.
Each week we try to bring you an adoptable pet from the Claiborne Animal Shelter. Today we talk with Liza Martz, who tells us the importance of adoption and also the importance of spaying and neutering your pets. Following this segment, stay with us because Brandon Burke has your sports update right here on LMU Community TV News.
Hey everyone, it's Ashley and I'm here with Liza from the Claiborne Animal Shelter, and today she brought with her Blue Boy who was looking to be adopted, but while he was here he's already gotten adopted. But don't worry, just because he's being adopted doesn't mean that there aren't others at the Claiborne Animal Shelter to be adopted. So Liza, just tell us a little bit about the importance of these kittens and these cats being adopted.
Okay, right now we're in the middle of kitten season. And so we'll get sometimes 30 cats in a day. Yeah. And it's because if the cats aren't spayed, they're very good at reproducing. And so what we would like to tell people is get your cats spayed. We've got a low-cost spay and neuter clinic every week. And get them neutered as well, because people think if they get their cats spayed, the problem is resolved, but male cats can go out and get other cats pregnant. So you want to make sure that your pets aren't going out and contributing to the problem of way too many kittens. Now, he's 10 weeks old, and he's a Russian blue, and he's purring his little head off. I don't know if anybody can hear him, but he's a total love bug. And we've got many, many more where he came from. Now, we don't have any more Russian blues right now. Yes. But, you know, it's early days. We could have him by the time we get back to the shelter. Totally. So, but he's going to go home after he's fixed. Yes. It's $50 to adopt a kitten, or you get two for $50. And we have a kitten special. Okay. And you have to fill out an application and be approved. Right. And we do a vet check to make sure your other pets have been up to date on their shots, and also that your other pets have been spayed or neutered. Okay. And once that's done, if they weigh over 2 pounds, they'll be put on the schedule. They'll get spayed or neutered on Thursday, and they go home on Friday. Okay. And they have the vaccination for upper respiratory. They've been feline leukemia tested. Okay. They're dewormed, and they have their flea meds.
Oh, right. Yeah. So what about if we were talking just before we were filming about these people that you see, you know, you're driving down the road and you see maybe a mama cat and a litter of kittens. What would you advise a person to do if that were the situation?
If the cat didn't belong to somebody, I would say bring it to us.
Bring it to the shelter.
Right. And it might be that they end up being put to sleep because we get so many of them. Right. But at least they're not going to suffer. They're not going to get run over or eaten by a coyote or starve to death. Exactly. And they get sick very easily. Right. And
that was another thing I was going to talk about is, you know, these cats that are left on their own, you know, their survival rate is...
It's at best, a cat that's living on its own, if it does really well, will live to be 3 years old. Okay. Is all. We get many of the cats and kittens we get in are extremely ill. They've got terrible upper respiratory problems, and we put them to sleep as a mercy, really. It's the humane thing to do because they're so sick. So get your pets fixed. Right. And then if you feel the need for a darling little kitten in your life, come to the shelter and adopt one.
I would highly recommend it. All right, so if you want to go check out all of the kittens or cats or even the puppies at the Claiborne Animal Shelter, you can give them a visit, or you can visit their website, claiborneanimalshelter.com, or check them out on Facebook and make one of these cute little things a part of your family.
Welcome back. The Lincoln Memorial Lady Rail Splitter volleyball team, after advancing past the South Atlantic Conference Tournament quarterfinals last week, participated in the semifinals of the tournament on Friday evening in Wingate, North Carolina against the Newberry Wolves. The second-seeded Lady Rail Splitters and the third-seeded Wolves clashed in a back-and-forth contest that would eventually make its way into a fifth set. After Lincoln Memorial found themselves in a 2-1 set deficit, the Lady Rail Splitters would come out on top in sets 4 and 5 to defeat Newberry College 3-2. The opening set was taken by the Wolves 29-27. However, Lincoln Memorial bounced back to even the score in the second set 25-19. A 27-25 victory in set number 3 for Newberry looked to have the Lady Rail Splitters reeling, but a 25-19 triumph in set number 4, followed by a 15-13 win in the final set, catapulted LMU to the conference championship game for the first time since 2008. Lincoln Memorial tallied a season-high 70 kills in the semifinal matchup, next to the Wolves' 68. 4 Lady Rail Splitters notched at least 12 kills in the victory, led by sophomore All-SAC first-team selection Samantha Cash with 16. In addition to advancing to the conference title game for the first time in 8 years, LMU also achieved a new program record for total wins, surpassing the 98, 99, and 2000 teams with 25. Lincoln Memorial was forced to turn around the following afternoon and face off against the hometown #1 seeded Bulldogs of Wingate University in the SAC championship game, and the Bulldogs, fresh off of defeating the 4th seeded Queens Royals 3-1, defeated the Lady Rail Splitters in straight sets to capture the South Atlantic Conference Tournament championship. The Bulldogs, who finished in first place in the regular season SAC standings for the 11th consecutive season, took the 3 sets 25-23, 25-12, and 25-18 on the strength of 47 kills with a .309 attack percentage. Lincoln Memorial was only able to amass 27 kills in the loss with a .121 clip after posting a .193 attack percentage the previous day. The Lady Rail Splitters, who now stand at 25-8 overall in the 2016 season, must wait until Monday night to find out if they will be participating in the NCAA tournament. You can log on to www.lmurailsplitters.com to learn Lincoln Memorial's postseason fate. The Lincoln Memorial men's basketball team kicked off their second straight weekend of back-to-back games on the road as the Rail Splitters traveled to Evansville, Indiana for the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame Classic on Friday and Saturday. The second-ranked team in Division II shrugged off a slow start on Friday evening to defeat the Panthers of Kentucky Wesleyan 88-72 to start the 2016-2017 season 3-0. Senior guard Luquan Choice was the deciding factor in the victory as a new career-best 8 three-pointers were made by Choice, who finished 10 for 15 from the field for a game-high 28 points. 3 other Rail Splitters put in double-digit scoring efforts, including redshirt junior Trayvon Shaw, who posted 18 points on 50% shooting. Lincoln Memorial went into the halftime break trailing 35-33, but would explode in the final 20 minutes, outscoring the Panthers by 18 behind 64% field goal shooting in the second half. LMU advanced to a 3-0 record for the 7th time in the past 8 seasons, but would suffer their first defeat the following afternoon as the 5th-ranked team in Division II, the Alabama Huntsville Chargers, handed Lincoln Memorial their largest loss in 8 years, 91-67. The highly anticipated clash between 2 top 5 national squads, the Chargers led 53-34 after the opening half and never looked back on their way to the victory. Redshirt freshman Cornelius Taylor led the Rail Splitters in scoring with 14 points, but as a team, Lincoln Memorial only shot 40% for the game compared to the Chargers, who made 55% of their field goal attempts. LMU only turned the ball over 8 times in the loss after giving the ball up 21 times the previous day, but the shooting woes for the Rail Splitters continued throughout the day, and Lincoln Memorial's record in 2016 through 2017 now stands at 3-1 after Alabama Huntsville defeated LMU by 24 points, the Rail Splitters' worst loss since 2008. The Lady Rail Splitter basketball team has started off the 2016-2017 season in tremendous fashion as Lincoln Memorial advanced to 4-0 on the year after defeating the Tornado of King University on Saturday afternoon 90-71. The home win for the Lady Rail Splitters saw 5 players score in double digits, led by the pair of Megan Pittman and Carson Sims, who recorded 15 points apiece. Senior Josie Harding put in a historic performance for Lincoln Memorial, grabbing 21 rebounds in the win, the 3rd most in program history. LMU has now out-rebounded all 4 of their opponents in 2016 as the Lady Rail Splitters posted a 50-44 advantage in that department, and Lincoln Memorial's impressive defensive efforts continued in the rout as the Tornado were held to 35% shooting and 14 turnovers. The Lady Rail Splitters shot 42% for the game and led King University 52-32 at the halftime break. The last 3 victories for LMU have come by 27, 17, and now 19 points, and Lincoln Memorial now holds a 4-0 record for the first time since the 1991 through 1992 season. Now, both the women's and the men's basketball teams for LMU will be back in action this Tuesday, November 22nd, for the South Atlantic Conference opener when they travel to Jefferson City, Tennessee, for a date with the Carson Newman Eagles. The women's game will be tipping off at 6 o'clock, followed by the men's game at 8 p.m. Now, both contests will be televised by MyVLT out of Knoxville, so check your local listings to find out what channel you can tune into to catch the heated rivalry between the Rail Splitters and the Eagles. This past Saturday was Week 12 in the 2016 college football season, and the Tennessee Volunteers ended their senior day on a high note, defeating the Missouri Tigers 63-37. In yet another shootout for the Vols, the 3rd consecutive home game from Neyland Stadium turned into the 3rd consecutive victory for Tennessee, who now stands at 8-3 on the season and holds a 4-3 mark in Southeastern Conference play. Earlier in the day, the Florida Gators clinched their 2nd straight trip to Atlanta for the SEC championship game by defeating the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge 16-10 thanks to a goal line stand on the final play of the game. However, that win was not enough to spoil the final home game of 2016 for the Vols. Quarterback Joshua Dobbs recorded one of the best games of his career in the home finale as the senior passed the ball for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns while also rushing the ball for 190 yards and 2 more scores. The Volunteers, who have now made it back into the AP Top 25 at the number 24 spot, will conclude the 2016 regular season this coming Saturday when the Vanderbilt Commodores host the Vols from Nashville. That contest will kick off at 7:30 on the SEC network. Also in SEC football over the weekend, the Kentucky Wildcats are now bowl eligible for the first time in 6 years. A 49-13 triumph over the Governors of Austin Peay improves UK's overall record to 6-5 in 2016, which is good enough for a postseason matchup. After back-to-back conference losses to Georgia and Tennessee, Kentucky's conference title game appearance hopes were diminished. However, last Saturday's win means that the Wildcats will have a postseason. Benny Snell Jr. ran the ball for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win, and this Saturday in Week 13, the Louisville Cardinals will host the Wildcats in their annual rivalry showdown. The 11th-ranked Cardinals just suffered their 2nd loss of the season this past Thursday after falling to the Houston Cougars, and the in-state battle between the Cats and the Cardinals will commence at 12 o'clock on ESPN this Saturday. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series finished off their 2016 season this past weekend with the Ford EcoBoost 400 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, and Jimmy Johnson all entered the race with a chance to win this season's championship. Kevin Harvick started on the pole and split the early dominance with Edwards. Kyle Larson, however, would be the class of the day, leading a race-high 132 laps, and was on the way to his 2nd win of the season when a caution came out with 10 laps left. When the green flag fell, it was Larson out front and Edwards leading the chase when Edwards went to block Logano and caused a big wreck that took out numerous drivers, including Edwards. That set up Johnson, Logano, and Kyle Busch to compete for the championship, and when the dust settled, Jimmy Johnson not only finished ahead of the other 2, but also won the race. Larson finished 2nd, Harvick took 3rd, followed by Logano and Jamie McMurray. It's the 7th championship for Johnson, which ties him with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt for the most in the Sprint Cup. That's all for sports over the weekend, but here is Ashley Collingsworth and Peyton McDaniel.
And that's going to do it for LMU Community TV for this week.
I'm Peyton McDaniel. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you on Thursday.
For everyone here at LMU Community TV, I'm Ashley Collingsworth. Have a great week and a happy Thanksgiving.